What's going on, YouTube gang? It's Mel DFS coming to you live and direct, here to give you my favorite plays for today's 9-game main slate. Today is the 10th of February. Hope everybody's having an amazing Monday to start their week, productive, and be blessed, y'all. So hope everybody's having an amazing day. Feel free to like the video. Please subscribe if you're new or supporting the channel, man. I always appreciate the love. Press that bell icon so you always stay notified for new videos. Let's jump into it, because we already got injury news. We got a lot of questionables. We got a lot of people that are out. So we got to definitely dig into it and hopefully get some good upside here. All right, so let's go to our point guard slot. We do have Jamal Murray in a great play against San Antonio at 7,200, 7K on DraftKings. We already know that Barton's out. We do have Michael Porter Jr. out, so he's in a good spot regardless, especially with the bumping usage. He did have 30% usage last game without Barton, had that 51 fantasy point game. Now going against San Antonio, he has great potential here. I still like this play as their 23rd against opposing point guards, and he had a 34 last game. He did have a high of 45 in the last 5 games against San Antonio, so we see potential in this play for him. Also, is a fast-paced game for Denver. As you can see, 97.6 against San Antonio's pace at 100.8, so it's also a positive pace for Murray in this play for today. So like this spot for him. Now we gotta look into Kyle Lowry news. Kyle Lowry he was out because of that whiplash last game, so he's questionable. So somebody want to definitely consider. You got Terrence Davis that balled out. We do have Fred VanVleet that's in a good spot here if Kyle Lowry's out. So we got to definitely keep in mind with this play if he's going to be playing or not. But if he does, he's in a good spot. He's 7,200, 73 on DraftKings, and he does well, especially against Minnesota. He had that 40, 41, 31, 54 in the last 4 against Minnesota, and it's a great pace for Toronto here against Minnesota as they're 100.2 to Minnesota's 103.6. So if Kyle Lowry's playing, sign me up in this play. Good spot for him, but if he's out, we got much usage to go around with Toronto, and they play small, so you already know how that is. So another good guy you can look into is Eric Bledsoe. We do know that Giannis is questionable, so if he's not playing, you got a good spot for him. He's already 36, 35, 34 in the last 3 games, and he has good upside against Sacramento. He had a 42, 59 in the last 2 against Sacramento. You get great ceiling against them and a good spot, especially if Giannis is out, bumps him up in usage, and it's a good play. He's averaging 1.17 fantasy points per minute on the court. He had 30% usage last game, 25% the game before that, so great usage, especially if Giannis is out. It's another great spot for Bledsoe here against Sacramento. Another guy you can look into is Malcolm Brogdon, 6,500 on FanDuel. He is 69 on DraftKings, but going against Brooklyn, it's a fast-paced game. It's a good spot for him, a 35 fantasy point projection play already for today, 5.4 value spot, and it's a good spot for Indiana, 98.3 to Brooklyn's 102.3. So we got great usage, and I think he's gonna be a lower owned guy, especially if news with Giannis out. You know, guys gonna go elsewhere, so he's a good guy to definitely target, especially against Brooklyn. They're 29th against opposing point guards, one of the last teams against point guards. So great spot for him to dominate here against Brooklyn. He had a 57 last game against Brooklyn. So somebody definitely consider here is Malcolm Brogdon. All right, let's go into our shooting guards. Now going to the shooting guard side of things, of course, like I stated, with Giannis, got Chris Middleton also. 49, 33, 49 in the last 3 games, dominating so far. 7,400 still too cheap, knowing the upside for him on FanDuel, and he's 79 on DraftKings. Great play for him. As you can see against Sacramento, 50, 41 in the last 2 games. He had 49, 49, 45 in the last 3 games out of 5 games. Definitely somebody could consider here with upside, especially Giannis out, and he's averaging 25% last game, 20 game before that. So he's averaging around 26% in usage, around 1.12 1.12 fantasy points per minute on the court, y'all. Chris Middleton's in a good spot here, especially with Giannis. If he sits, somebody want to consider. Like I stated before, Fred VanVleet, good spot. We already know what he can do without Lowry on the court, but still a good play overall. 6,700 on FanDuel, still a good play here, but just not much upside without Lowry. But on DraftKings, looking at 76, is more of a ceiling play. But I like the spot for him if Lowry's out. Let's see for any more updates. You got Kevin Herter, man. He's been doing damage in the last 2 games, showing out. 4,600 still too cheap for him. Knowing what he can do. He had 38 last game, 20 in the last 2 games against Orlando. So somebody could sit here if you want to pivot down for some savings. But on DraftKings, they priced him up. I think he's around 6,300 on DraftKings. More likely I'll fade on that play, but 46 on FanDuel. Somebody definitely consider here. Orlando's 20th against the position as well, so great play for him. Now also I stated Terrence Davis. If Lowry's out, Terrence Davis is a good play for today. All right, 4,400 still a great spot here. He had 32 last game without Lowry, 38 in the last 2 games, and within the minutes he's averaging around 27.5 minutes a game. And he got 25% usage last game. So somebody definitely consider here if Lowry's out in this good play, good savings play for him. Now we got to look into Miami. If Hero's going to be out and Butler's going to be out, we got to look into that narrative. But of course, if they out, you do have Dragic back in the mix. He balled out for us yesterday, but none didn't do so good. But Duncan Robinson, somebody I'm having in my radar. He had 30 last game without him, 33, 32 in the last 2 games, and he's only 4,400 on FanDuel. So a great pivot spot for some savings if we get news of Butler and Hero's going to be out once again. All right, and he's 5,200 on DraftKings. Sorry about that. Still a good play for him as Golden State is 28th against the position, 27 overall on defense. So love that play, knowing the upside with Duncan Robinson. All right, let's look into our small forwards. I don't really like the small forward section, so bear with me. We're going to look into some savings. Of course, you got Andrew Wiggins on his debut. He had 45 fantasy point game, but going against Miami is going to be more of a slow pace. Indeed, especially going against Miami as a 98.8 in pace. So it actually is a negative pace for him. So somebody get that 35 fantasy point mark. Definitely 36.3 projection already for him. But we need some more upside here. All right, we got to look into... he's got Jay Crowder. Once again, he had a debut. He had 44 fantasy points in 34 minutes. That's something you want to see. But we got to look into Butler and Hero. They're going to be out once again. But he has much upside if they are, because he had 15% usage. But he's a guy he could do damage, man. He could do great on offense and defense. So somebody definitely want to consider. Let's see anything else. I like Markieff Morris at 4K. Now Detroit's still depleted. I mean, without Drummond, and you have Thon Maker, John Henson in the mix. I think that one guy, start with SVI. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but he's out. You do have Derrick Rose doubtful. So Markieff Morris is one of those guys you definitely could consider here at 4K, especially against Charlotte. It's going to be one of those games you definitely consider here. It's going to be slow, but I can see him get that 30, hopefully 25-30, because he's one of those guys that he's consistent, especially if he gets some minutes. So one of the guys, I mean, all you have is Reggie Jackson and Markieff Morris to this point. So I like this play for him if he playing today, because he's probable. I think he had that flu. He had flu-type symptoms, so something you want to consider if he plays. So I like that spot for him. You got James Ennis if we want to go here. I think he's going to be debuting for today. We got to look into that. But if he starts, he got great opportunity here at 3,800, and he's bare minimum on DraftKings. So somebody want to consider here on Orlando if he gets a good play here, because Atlanta is horrible against small forwards, and he's in a good spot here if he gets some minutes here. So James Ennis is a good guy. I'm going to have him in my radar for today, but I definitely let you know if that's something I like as a lock play if he gets minutes or either start. Something you want to consider. All right, let's go into our next spot at power forward. Definitely like the Domantas Sabonis, man. Too cheap in this spot for today, especially on FanDuel. 7,800 is too cheap, but of course on DraftKings, they know what's up. They have him at 9,600 on DraftKings. That's obviously what he should be, but 7,800 on FanDuel is too cheap, especially going against Brooklyn. That's their 29th against opposing power forwards. A great spot for him. He had 38, 37, 38, 55, 35 in the last 5 games. I don't know what, I say thank you to FanDuel. He's my guy for today. 46, 45 in the last 2 games against Brooklyn. Great spot for Indiana. It's good pace, as I stated before. So definitely a good play for him against Brooklyn. Now you got Serge Ibaka, especially he's a good spot here. Of course, Marc Gasol is out once again. Serge Ibaka is in a good spot here. He's only 65 on DraftKings, 67 on FanDuel. Still a good play for him for today, and also great pace like I stated before, so somebody to consider here. Also, Aaron Gordon is a good play, and with the positive pace for Orlando. 97 to Atlanta's 103.7. That's a crazy bump in pace for Orlando here. So somebody you definitely want to consider is Aaron Gordon in the spot here. It's still too cheap at 6,300. He's projected at 30.2 projection play, but he had a 28, 34, 37 in the last 3 against ATL. So you see he could give you around that 35 mark in this play, but he had 45, 43 in the last 5 games, so he has much upside. He's been doing his thing, and he's still cheap enough to get some upside here at that play. Another guy you can look into is Paul Millsap back in the mix. He had 17 minutes last game with 31 fantasy points, so it's also a positive pace for Denver, like I stated before, against San Antonio. So a good spot for him at 4,900, 47 on DraftKings. Great play for him today. It's good to see him back in the mix, especially without Porter and without Barton. So it's a good play for Paul Millsap here at a cheap price tag. All right, let's look into our last play at center. I definitely like some Nikola Jokic, man. Good spot here, 11,300 on FanDuel, but he's cheaper on DraftKings, 10,200 on DraftKings. Good spot for him. Good pace, like I stated before, and he gets a bump in usage about those guys I mentioned before. Good play, 66, 78 in the last 2 games against San Antonio. He has a great spot here. Yes, he's expensive on FanDuel, but he's been dominating lately. He had 49 dud last time, but he had 75, 68, 82 in the last 4 games. He could give you that 55 plus here against San Antonio as their 20th in defense overall. The guy you look into. Now, DeAndre Ayton, somebody we got to monitor here. He is questionable for today. So they're going to be depleted, especially with Sarge out. Sarge already out. Who else is already out? Johnson. That's more on the guard spot, but he's questionable, so we got to monitor him, especially on the center spot. I think it's Diallo. That's somebody you can consider for a low dart play if you want to go him if he's out. But you got Nikola Vucevic here at 8,600, but he is 89 on DraftKings. Still a great play for him. Like I said, it's a positive pace, a great positive pace for Orlando here against ATL. And he has 42, 34, 45, 63, 40. So he has a safe floor going against ATL here. He had that 51 last game, so hopefully keep this flame going, give you another 45 and plus in this play here against ATL. Love that play. Like I stated before with Detroit, they're real depleted, but they're sharing minutes with John Henson, but he shows he has better fantasy point potential than Don Maker, as you can see already. 1.2 fantasy points per minute for John Henson here against Charlotte. As you already know, Charlotte is the worst team against opposing centers in the league, man. So good spot for him, but he's definitely gonna be sharing minutes with Thon Maker. He had 28 minutes last game, 33 game before that. So he could be still a good play here if you want to pivot down to Thon Maker. So somebody you want to consider here. But those are plays I'm looking at so far for today, especially with the injury news. But I definitely will give you updates as I always do on my posts, also on my Twitter. Definitely check me out on my Twitter so I keep giving you those updates, especially on the injuries, man. So if you like these plays, give a thumbs up. Any questions or concerns with your lines, just comment below, man. Using Draft Dashboard tools and a link in my description. Just sign up for the tools so you get access to my player pool. So once you sign up, you get access to the NBA cheat sheet. You get access to your player trends, see who's hot, who's not. Access to the sleepers and your studs. Click on the watch players. You get access to your player pool, and you'll see my Melo's DFS picks button up top. Click that button to see my plays for either DraftKings or FanDuel, y'all. Also, when you click on your lineup optimizer to generate your quality lineups, click on the GPP or cash selection for your tournaments, y'all. So definitely take advantage of that, man. Especially what type of tournaments you want to go for. Definitely help you out build that bankroll. So I love y'all, man. Y'all collect that bag for Monday. It's Melo DFS, and y'all stay blessed. And I see y'all in the next video.